Hi everyone. In this very short video, we're just going to take the opportunity to go over a few details about the course and specifically about the syllabus. This is our home page on Blackboard, and you can find more information about how to navigate Blackboard and how to use it and how I've set it up for the course in the Blackboard video. But this is what it'll look like when you enter the course. To find the syllabus, you go over here to Course Information. These tabs on the left-hand side should be the places where you can find all the information that you need. Under Course Information, if you click on this, it'll take you to the syllabus and to the schedule. So the syllabus for the course lists basic information, how you can, my email address, my office phone number. I know in online courses, email's generally the preferred way to get in touch with me, but sometimes I think a phone call is the easiest way to handle things. A lot of times you can explain things verbally that are harder to get across through an email. So particularly if you're struggling with an assignment, or if you're, having a hard time with, my feedback, these would be good times to maybe consider a phone call. If you're finding you can't reach me, particularly if you mostly only have evening hours where you could, say, have a phone call, email me and we can set up a specific time. My office hours, generally I'm in my office a lot more than my office hours, but they will be on Wednesdays, on Thursday mornings from 8 to 10, and I also will hold an office hour on the Cape this semester on Tuesday evenings. But as I said, I'll actually be in my physical office much more than that, and I will be available by appointment Monday through Friday at whatever time works for you. So oftentimes with the online class, it's best to just reach out and we can figure out a time to meet. Or just stop by the office if you're hanging around the COMM department. Please consider reading through this information. This video isn't really considered an acceptable, you shouldn't think you don't have to read the syllabus because of it. You should read through this and know what the policies are and information. Late work, I would rather have you do work than not do it. And I will grade it even if it's late. There may be a small point penalty. I have due dates because it helps me get my work done. And because this class every week builds on what came before, if you start to miss assignments in this class, it has a really negative effect on your ability to catch up, because you'll have to have done one assignment before you can move on and do the next one. So you really, really, really should try to make due dates and get all of your work completed and turned in on time. There are a few things that have to be done on time because there's no way to make up for them, specifically any kind of online discussion. Your peers need your work to be done on time so that they can complete their work on time. And so if you're going to ensure that anything is done on time, make it the group discussion. Everything else, if you have one of those weeks where something's not going to be there, make it an assignment, make it the test. Don't make it the group discussion. Again, it's very important you try to get things on time, but don't use a late assignment as an excuse to not do the work. The work is there to help you learn the material, and I want you to be able to pass the class and do well. So if it's got to be late, it's got to be late, but still turn it in. There won't be a lot of extra credit. There might be a few opportunities in the end. Don't plan on it. There aren't required texts in this course. Any material that you have to read will be on Blackboard. You should keep in mind that this is a course that's heavily weighted toward assignments. You don't have a lot of reading in the class, but you have a ton of assignments in the class. The assignments, in my perspective, take the place of reading. So in a normal class, I might have, a couple hours worth of reading a week that you're asked to do outside of course time. Instead, in this class, you might have only a half an hour worth of reading or viewing material, but you'll have assignments that make up for that. You should know that I use as a guide in designing the workload in this class, I use the student handbook that the university creates. And that handbook states that for a 200 to 300 level class, you should expect to spend 3 to 5 hours of outside class time completing work. So in an online class, you can expect that you will have 2 to 3 hours of 2.5 hours of work time that is work that you would be doing if you were in class. So for instance, these kinds of videos and other lectures that I post, or reading material that I ask you to do, or group discussions, which are kind of taking the place of class discussions. And that's a couple hours that would be our normal class time. Above and beyond that, you should expect to have probably anywhere from 3 to 5 hours of outside work. It will vary by week. Some weeks will be lighter, some weeks might be a little heavier. But it's good to keep that in mind when you're preparing your workload. The kinds of things that we'll have on a regular basis are, you'll see that the class is divided into units. We'll have a test at the end of each of those units that will cover materials, video materials, writing materials, materials that you learned throughout doing the assignments, watching the videos, viewing the PowerPoints, reading the links that I provide. You'll have online discussions. This is where you participate with your classmates in some discussion designed to help us better understand course material. The discussions are a little funky because you will all have an opportunity to, at least twice in the semester, to be the discussion leader. And people will be responding to you. Your classmates will be responding to you that week. On weeks that you are the discussion leader, it's extremely important that you get that done on time so that your peers have something to respond to. And I'll talk a little bit more about that in the Blackboard video. You also have tasks. Basically, I'm going to be uploading videos that will highlight certain things around the assignments that we're completing for the week or that we just completed. When I upload them, I'll put a due date on them. Usually that is 3 to 4 days after I've uploaded the video. They're easy. You can click right on the link. You can watch it. They're anywhere from 5 to, at the very longest, 15 minutes. So it's not a huge amount of work. You get 10% just for doing it. It's part of like the kinds of things we would cover in class if we were in class. And it will keep you on top of the course and help you better understand like why we did assignments or what I want you to take from the assignments, as well as highlighting important things in upcoming assignments and work. So watch the videos. It's not hard. It's 10%. You'll have a lot of different various assignments. Together, they are worth 30% of your grade. One thing to know about the assignments is they don't look like they're worth a lot because I only use a 5 or a 10-point scale to grade these. But they are worth a lot. When you add them all up, it's 30% of your grade. So if you're missing a lot of those, you might think, oh, it's only 5 points, so I don't need to worry about it. It adds up and it will hurt your grade if you're not doing them. In addition, we will be writing one longer paper in this class. We will have a number of assignments that lead up to that longer paper. So for instance, your first assignment with that will be figuring out a topic. So all of those assignments together are worth 30% of your grade. And those we're calling the literature review. And if you see in the schedule literature review or LR, you know it's an assignment that relates to that group of assignments. We'll talk more about that throughout the course. The literature review assignments will be worth variable points depending on sort of the amount of work that they require. So for instance, the first one, which is just choosing a topic or exploring a topic, 5 points. But you'll have other assignments where you're asked to, say, find multiple articles and read them. That might be worth 50 points. Your final paper is included in that group too, which will be worth 100 points. So you might pay attention to the point percentage, the points there. It'll give you an idea of the variability of those assignments. You can read more about each of these below here. And a little bit about my overall grading perspective. The course schedule will outline what is due during these weeks. Other than the group discussion, all assignments, tests, everything is due on the Sunday at midnight. So on the very last day. The only exception is group discussion, and that is when you're a discussion leader. You have to post by no later than Thursday to give people time to be able to respond to your discussions. And then here are the questions that we're basically going to be addressing and examining for the course that week. So paying attention to those will help you get an idea of what I'm hoping you can answer by the end of the week. So for instance, how do I know if my sources are good? By the end of week 4, I hope you have a number of responses you can give me based on doing the assignments and reading the material. Again, read the syllabus. If you have questions about the syllabus, about the way the course is structured, about the basic assignments that we will have, do not hesitate to get in touch with me.